Good afternoon, family. It is March 1st, 2022. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of achieving a healthy weight. If you enjoy the video, make sure you do hit the like button. Also, get subscribed to the channel. You can click on that bell icon, and you will get alerted when I go live, which is usually 4 p.m. on weekdays. uh, Down in the description below, I have a link for a Discord channel that I created. That Discord is a great place for you guys to share your progress or what your plans are, or just kind of share your stories with us. And Also, we add some recipes and photos and things on the Discord as well. Also, down in the description below, there is a link to a Pinterest board. That Pinterest board is a lot of the recipes that we enjoy on our whole food plant-based diet. We get asked a lot of times what we're eating to lose weight, or what the things that we like to eat. That's the best resource for those things. Today is day 486 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food plant-based diet to lose over 200 pounds so far. I am right at the 16-month mark. Tomorrow will be my official 16-month weigh-in to see how I've been doing. I am hoping to have another loss this week, but we will know tomorrow. My thing says no data. What does no data mean? All right. So we're going to switch over the main screen. Why it says no data. Okay. Well, I am going to keep talking as if there are no issues. I hope everybody had a great afternoon or great evening. Today, where I live here in the Midwest, it has been beautiful outside all day long. Um, and Let me just pull that up real quick. Yeah, it's like 60 degrees out right now, which is unbelievable. The sun is shining so much that my office is kind of turned into a little bit of a hot box. I got a little bit of sweat going here getting things set up today. So it is absolutely gorgeous outside, which means that my house is probably just got mud everywhere around it because I have a big gravel driveway leading up to my house. That's just the way things go this time of year as it gets warm. Hopefully it'll dry up quick, like that's the best thing that can happen. But yeah, it's beautiful out today. We have some things going on tonight. I kind of hoping to maybe get outside a little bit. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it is been really nice, and I'm looking forward to taking advantage of it. I just feel like I've been so cooped up in the house for the last couple months, not being able to get outside, and feeling and having this nice weather really gets you excited and gets you eager to get out there. Last night for dinner, gosh, I should have wrote it down because I'm gonna remember. It's just gonna take me a minute to remember what we had for dinner last night. Oh my. I had oatmeal for breakfast this morning. I remember that. I always have oatmeal for breakfast. It was good. I remember it. I don't know. Carrie, I don't think it's going to be on the live stream either today. I should have figured this out earlier, what we had for dinner, but it was just a normal dinner, our regular whole food plant-based SOS free. Maybe I'll post on the Discord if I can remember, or I can see sometimes I take photos of my food. Last night we had pizza. That's right. Carrie was talking about it. We had pizza last night and it was really good. Carrie makes a great pizza. The sauce, it's very good, very sweet. The in fact, what I'll do is I will pull a photo up of it because here we go. All right. Bam. I forgot to take a photo before I took a bite, but that is the pizza that we had. I'm pretty sure that Carrie has that recipe in the, on the Pinterest board, down in the description below. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that would have made it better is if it had more mushrooms. Carrie said she had run out of mushrooms or she didn't have any more to put on there, or she would have put some more on there. But it was really good. Um, I I ate it up. The kids had something different, I feel like. Or no, they had pizza too. Yeah, the kids had it, but Carrie bought a pre-made crust for the kids' pizza, and they really liked that pre-made crust that she had. They were asking for seconds of that. And then this morning, there's a picture of my oatmeal. Pretty boring, plain old oatmeal with there's apples in there, bananas. We use apple juice as kind of some of the liquid, and then the almond butter. It is oh so delicious. Still haven't figured out how to do salads for breakfast yet, but I'm sure Carrie will surprise. Well, I don't think Carrie will surprise me one morning because she really likes eating these oat groats, or steel cut oats mixed with oat groats, because that's the oatmeal that we eat. We do not eat rolled oats. I enjoy the steel cut oats and the oat groats over rolled oats. So today is Fat Tuesday. The title I put it. I'm fat and it's Tuesday. Yes. I'm not as fat as I used to be, but I am still fat. Yeah, being Fat Tuesday, kind of an interesting day, being that I have no interest in indulging in anything or being indulgent. I suppose I probably used that a few times in my younger years to overeat or overindulge. I think that the I looked up the Wikipedia definition just real quick, and it's it's the day where you're eating rich and fatty foods before Lent, or the Lenten, uh, whatever you, yeah, something Lenten. The Lenten sacrifices of fasting. That's right. And so it is just kind of funny seeing photos of Mardi Gras stuff or different um Fat Tuesday things today, and just being in a completely different spot. I don't even know what I would give up for Lent. I've already, some would say I've already given up anything worth enjoying, right? Uh, if I hadn't have given if I had not given up the avocados at this point, this would have been a great time for me to give up the avocados. Or if I was having any issues with my diet or not losing weight, then maybe I would look at, doing something. But for you guys out there, if you're looking for an excuse to get going, today's the great excuse to get going and doing something, sort of like New Year's is uh, less fat Tuesday, says Dustin. Yes, I'm less fat Tuesday um today. Uh but yeah, use this as your kicking off point if that's what you got to do. It was something that last year I talked about this a couple weeks ago, because this kind of, I guess, holiday falls at a different date every year. Um but last year at the same time is actually the same time that I started my second 10-day fast. And I had a little bit of aspirations in the back of my head that I would just do another 40-day fast like I had done uh, in November. But after doing it for about 10 days, I realized that uh, I didn't want to keep dealing with not doing much. Like the fasting, I feel like I had a handle on the fasting, and if I wanted to, I could have continued with fasting. But I really feel like if you're fasting, you have to find every way to be as relaxed as possible and not be doing a lot of things. And with us having 4 kids, I was able to find a way to be sedentary at 520 pounds and still be what I thought was a good parent. But now that I've lost, that a year ago, I think I was probably 150 pounds down. Uh, I could no longer, I no longer felt like I could be sedentary and still be a good kind of parent or partner. And so that's kind of what's kept me from doing any more extended fast, is that I feel like for it to be really successful, or for you to really go on a very long-term fast, is you have to put your activity level down as low as it can possibly go, just because you don't want to do anything on Tuesday that screws you up on Friday when you're doing a long-term fast. So, um, but yeah, I just it's crazy, just the difference in mentality and where I'm at and all that stuff, just like on my screen, you guys can't see it, but I looked up Fat Tuesday and there's pictures of parties and big donuts and stuff like that. And so Big Crazy Tony says, I weigh 513. You're giving me the hope that fasting will work for me. 21 pounds down. That's awesome, Big Crazy Tony. I know right where you're at. 513 pounds. I know that it is, you got a lot ahead of you. What I'd say, I don't know how long you're planning on fasting, or if you're using intermittent fasting, or what your goals are or your plans are, but um educate yourself on what you're going to do while you're not fasting. I spent the 40 days that I fasted when I started this reading stuff, watching videos, just trying to educate myself. And I stumbled across the True North Clinic, which is a facility that does medically supervised water fasting in California. And I was very concerned about what I was going to do for refeeding, because I was fasted for 25 days at that point. And I was like, I wonder what these guys do for their uh, refeeding. And that's when I found out that they have their patients, or they recommend that everybody eats a whole food plant-based diet with no added salt, oil, or sugar. I know it sounds extreme, but I really enjoy the meals I eat. And it has made a huge difference in my life. And it's been able to allow me to keep losing the weight. I had done an extended fast in the past and tried to do keto afterwards, and it just fell apart right away. And I lost a ton of weight doing a fast, but within 3 months, I was easily back to what I had lost during the time that I had fasted that first time. Stone Hobbit says, teaches calmness and self patience. Um, gosh, that's in reference to, I'm sorry. But the yeah, maybe it was about the fasting, teaching calmness and patience. Uh, and that's really the thing that when I started this, and you're 513 pounds, I'm sure you've done other diets, you've had other successes with doing different things. Um, for me, when I look back at all those successes, none of them were lasting. And I feel like it was because I gave up too quick too many times. And so that's why I created this challenge, or this channel. And as part of this channel, my challenge to myself is to do this for 3 years when I started. And all I knew when I started is that I wanted to do a 30-day fast, push that to 40 days, and then I switched my diet completely. Um, and whatever plan you do, whatever you can do, stick to it is best you can for as long as you can, because once you start letting those kind of other things come in, it's hard to say yes to a candy bar today and then no to a candy bar on Thursday, because you talked yourself into having the candy bar on Tuesday. You'll find a way to talk yourself into having it again on Thursday. So long as you can abstain from a lot of those things, I really recommend abstaining from as much of it as possible. The other recommendation that I'd like to give to people who are starting off with fasting is that there are lots of things in your diet that are addictive. They're not like cocaine addictive, but sugar has addictive properties. Caffeine has addictive properties. Milk has addictive properties. And so when you go on a fast, you cut out all of those things as well as food. And so for those first couple days, you may get headaches, you may go through these things, and a lot of times those headaches or that dizziness could be attributed to a withdrawal from something that you were addicted to in your diet. So if you can find a way to, eliminate those things either as you're fasting, like say, okay, I'm going to fast for a couple days. And then when I get back, I'm not going to eat any more sugar, or when and then eat for a while without eating sugar and then fast again, you'll find that the fasting may get easier because you're not or caffeine would be the biggest one. Like if you can get rid of the caffeine, get rid of the soda, get rid of the coffee, then you will notice that the headaches won't be as bad when you go into fasting because you're not going through the caffeine withdrawal. Stone Hobbit says you just started another round with day 2 with 21 minutes stationary cycling, been having extreme knee pain disabling me. Uh so said that is gotta just do it. Yeah, I mean, just be careful with the knee pain. I know that it's tough to you know, it's tough when you have pain like that, because it makes it if you're having when you do that and you're working out and then it screws up walking the rest of the day. So um just do your best with it. uh and don't do anything to hurt yourself. Tony here says you've been doing 20-hour fasting, 4-hour eating window, trying to eat as clean as possible. Your issue is you love the sweets. Yes, I love the sweets too. And you do have to forgive yourself about them. The easiest thing, the easiest way to get rid of eating any candy is to not have it around you, not have it in your presence, to not have it in your cupboards, because uh, just having it in there creates that temptation that you have to have that argument with yourself over whether or not to eat it. Like if you have a box of Oreos in your cupboard, then every day you have to fight yourself that temptation of eating that box of Oreos. And you have to go through that mental fight with that box of Oreos every day. Even if you win that fight every day for 1,000 days in a row, you still went through that mental fight for those 1,000 days. If the Oreos weren't in your house, then you wouldn't have to go through that fight. I know it's not practical for everybody, but if you can keep those temptations away from you, at least for the first few weeks, especially, if you're living in a house with spouse or with a family that they have those items, put your food somewhere else, or only go, or have them put their food in a different pantry just for a couple weeks. Ask them, say, hey, if you could just not eat candy around me for a couple weeks, it'd be awesome. And then after a couple weeks, you get, you know, 10, 15, 20 pounds off. And then when you see them eat that candy bar, it's a little bit easier to be like, 20 pounds in, I don't need a candy bar. But those are just kind of some things that I like. And yeah, as far as eating clean, I would say is eliminate the processing of foods as much as possible. If you can eat foods that have single ingredients on their labeling, that's best. But once you start adding a lot of salt and oil and sugar and processing of the foods, that's when the high calorie stuff comes in. Stone says it's already been relieving the pain, so fasting works for me, is what you're saying. Okay. Sorry, I was just confused about the wording of everything. So the fasting is helping you uh do the cycling, the pain was disabling you, uh, and then you've been doing the water with baking soda, pink Himalayan salt, and apple cider vinegar. I commend you for going through with the apple cider vinegar. That stuff is awful. The first time I did a 30-day fast, I tried doing that, diluted apple cider vinegar, uh, with a straw. And, I probably did it about half the time that I did my first 30-day fast. So that is, um, that is, like I said, commendable that you're getting through it. The second fast, I really found I did take some electrolytes, but I found that the water was really just what I needed, and it did well for me. Um, and yeah, as far as the knee pain and the fasting, um, a lot of that is, probably going to be a little bit of reduction of inflammation. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm sure, it could be anything. Um, but I know that my mother-in-law has been uh, really happy with the benefits that she's been having from the diet, with the reduction of sodium that we have in our diet. She's suffered from joint and arthritic pain in her hands for years, and while probably never going to go away completely, I do believe that she's found enough relief in it that it's been noticeable to her, and that she's made a comment about it. So um that's I think a big plus of reducing that sodium in our diet. I think sodium creates a huge amount of inflammation that we just allow it to happen. It's a weird kind of it's a weird thing. Like, if I sat here and said you need to cut sugar out of your diet, everybody was like, "Yes, he's right. You should cut sugar out of your diet." If I said, "Hey, you should get rid of fat and oil from your diet," everybody say, "Yes, yes, you got to get rid of fat and oil from your diet." Yes, But if I say you need to get rid of sodium from your diet, everybody goes, "No, no, you need sodium for something." Just like you need animal protein for something, like it's supposed to just be generally accepted that you need salt. I mean, I've seen a lot more resources now. I see more every day that are talking about the um the effects that the sodium that we're allowing into our diet is having on our body. And if we were just talking about just straight table salt, maybe, something different. But a lot of this stuff we're letting into the foods that comes in as sodium isn't really just straight salt like you think of. It's in the water, like the the what is it? The Cargill, the leading manufacturer, the leading distributor of salt in the country, sells 40 different types of salt. There was 40 types of salt. And the salt that they sell to different manufacturers based on the shape of the salt crystals, because some salt crystals stick to popcorn better than other salt crystals, and some salt crystals are shaped in such a way that when they hit our tongue, they dissolve faster and cause a better response. And that improved response leads to overeating. Uh, Hi, I'm currently fasting and not sure whether or not I should consume salt. The I'm not a doctor. I would say follow what your body tells you to do. I The first time I did a 30-day water fast, I had electrolyte powders, and I feel like I tried doing Himalayan salt. It's really tough to eat Himalayan salt and the apple cider vinegar, like Stone Hobbit was talking about. Um, the second time I fasted here, I started with the electrolyte powders, but I just really I didn't like the taste of them. I had some ones that were flavored, and after maybe the first 20 days, I didn't continue on with the electrolyte powders. So, if I guess my recommendation um is always going to be trust your body. If you ever feel like you need to eat or you've gotten too dizzy, I never push yourself beyond what you feel comfortable doing. Um but if you're getting some dizziness or some lightheadedness and you want to continue with the fast, and you want to give adding some salt or having some electrolytes in a drink as kind of maybe this will help me get through this, then whether it has an actual effect or a placebo effect to help you get through that kind of period, then maybe that wouldn't be too hurtful. I'm not going to tell you not to. Um, as Stone Hobbit's talking about the apple cider vinegar, they water it down a lot. Um, and if they feel a little bit lightheaded or dizzy, they'll have a suck on the pink salt. Yeah, just enough to go, yep, okay, there you go. So that's kind of what Stone Hobbit's saying there. Again, the second fast I did, for really the second half of it, I was feeling great and I never felt like I needed to add any electrolytes or have anything but water. So um that would be my non-professional recommendation. So I wish you very much I wish you luck with everything that you're doing with your fasting. It is uh it's been crazy kind of just figuring out that one of the things that one of the doctors I listened to has said before is that humans are physiologically adapted to be able to fast, whereas other creatures don't have that physiological adaptation. Um, Such as like a chimpanzee cannot fast like a human can fast. But now other animals may be able to fast um, that aren't primates, but that's just the closest example I can give. Uh, and it's just kind of interesting to find or to learn that that this is an adaptation that people have. Like this is kind of a trick that's in our bag, and it's what helped us get through long winters. Like that's really the people that can store fat on their body are the people that survived the best, or they had the best chance of survival when the groundhog came out and saw his shadow and winter came, or spring came 6 weeks later. So then there was 6 more weeks of famine around in cold climates. And our bodies are amazingly adapted to take advantage of stored fat reserves. And other animals aren't able to do that. Uh, just like another weird thing I learned the other day is that vitamin C is essential for humans. It's an essential nutrient that we have to get from our food. We don't produce vitamin C within our bodies. But vitamin C is not a, a vital nutrient for some other species. There's some species of animals that are able to create their own vitamin C. And that's just crazy to me. Like I never really considered that uh if we couldn't make it, then I imagine that dogs can't make it. But I think dogs can make vitamin C. I don't give my dog vitamin C. I don't give him any fruits. He doesn't really even eat fruits. So um it's just crazy how like there's these thousands of different traits that species can have, and learning more about the traits that humans have that we don't really pay attention to. And I think fasting is one of those traits that we have that I never allowed my body to utilize in the past, because even though our bodies have the ability to fast, our bodies do not want to fast. Like the pleasure trap, the motivational triad or whatever, is that we seek pleasure and we avoid pain and we want to conserve energy. Those are that's the motivational triad. And so the food that we have now is all that pleasure. Like we want to conserve energy is part of that, but we want to consume energy too. Like we want to have that surplus. And I'm evidence that you can build up quite a surplus of excess calories on the human body. um and it's difficult to have other foods around, but uh you got to find your uh the thing that you can hold on to. You know, I guess I have this accountability of this channel. I have these goals that I set in front of myself that I'm still working towards achieving. So, um, anyways, I'm going to get out of here today. I really appreciate all you guys checking in on the chat today. Please come back. Let me know how you're doing with the different things. I want to know how your knees doing, Stone, how you're doing, Tony, with your weight. And I, Sala, I don't even know how to say your name, but I hope things are going great with your, you know, your fasting as well. I'm going to get out of here for today. Tomorrow is going to be weigh-in Wednesday. I'm excited to see what I can get down to. I was at 318 even. It's going to be my official 16-month weigh-in. So I have 20 months left. So I'm not quite halfway there yet, but I need to get a few pounds off. I really wanted to get down to about 312 by the end of this month. So I'm going to be a few pounds behind. I got to use March as a catch-up month, or I got to get caught up here pretty soon. Big Tony says that you will let me know. Stone Hobbit says you find yourself reprogramming and it becomes easier. Thanks for sharing. It's awesome to know like-minded peeps. Absolutely. I'm out of here, guys. If you haven't started your diet yet, get started right now. There's no reason to wait. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and overall well-being. Nobody ever gets to their goal and says, I wish I would have waited. I wish I would have indulged on Fat Tuesday and eaten everything I could. Nobody says that. Everybody says, I wish I would have started sooner. I wish I would have known how great I was going to feel. And guys, don't fall for the two myths of moderation, the myth of moderate consumption. For decades, I tried to eat less food. It's really tough to do. It's nearly impossible. You need to change the density of the food you're eating. You need to eat lower calorie dense foods, get rid of the oils and the fats that have super high calories. That way you can continue to eat that large volume of food that you love to eat, that makes you smile and makes you happy. And then the myth of moderate change. Some people can say that they do it over time. I change little things here, change little things there. I think that the greatest success happens after you make the complete conversion. So if your goal is to completely convert at a certain point, then why not get started right now? Again, nobody gets to the end and wishes they would have waited. So get started right now, guys. Appreciate you all. I will see you tomorrow at my weigh-in for Weigh-In Wednesday.